Passive versus active traffic. Pay close attention. This is very, very important what I'm about to explain, and this is critical to our entire process, so take some notes. Let's talk about what our core traffic mindset is going to be. Now, we covered kind of the spy for profit methodology behind everything. We haven't yet really talked about traffic and how our mindset is. We know our core principles are speed to market, like how fast we can get to market and start getting a result, as well as cost, how inexpensively we can get to market and get a result. We don't want to spend a whole bunch of money. So we want to get there fast and cheap ideally, and then get some results and then scale the business that way and start making more and more money and kind of reinvesting in the process. So I want to talk about our core traffic mindset because it's very critical. Now, this goes into the entire process. When you go through all 4 phases of this class, when it all starts to come together, I'm going to give you some cheat sheets and shortcut lists and everything else that are going to detail every single step that you go through with this entire process. So if you're maybe a little overwhelmed by now, or you're kind of going in different directions with the lessons we've already covered, don't worry about it. It's all going to come into clear focus by the end of the course when everything is outlined and the entire system is put in front of you. But right now, we have to cover some of these fundamental things, and I have to show you how to do different things for research and how to use these different tools and in different sites to kind of find this data on these competitors. But it's all going to come together. But our traffic mindset is going to be critical. So, I just mentioned, in keeping with our core principle of speed to market, this needs to carry over how we're going to approach generating traffic for our opportunities. Now, of course, why I'm bringing this up, because in this part 2 of phase 1, we're going to start looking at traffic from our competitors, analyzing advertising, looking at keyword stuff, display ad stuff, referrals, partners, you name it. And since we're going to do that, we got to keep in mind the core principle of speed because it really, really matters. So, what you need to know: SEO, social media, and any content-driven traffic methods are out. That's right, they're out. We don't care about them in this process. These are what I call passive methods. Search engine optimization takes a lot of time. It even takes money now to build links and do all kinds of stuff. Even though it's free traffic, it has a cost to it because it does cost resources. The resources it takes to have content made, as well as to go out and get links and do all the other legwork to get it to rank high, to get traffic, those are still costs. So there really is no free traffic, so to speak, on the internet anymore. It all costs, either time or money or both. But these are passive methods. Same thing with social media. We can start to create social media accounts, whether it's Pinterest or Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or anything else to try to drive traffic, but that stuff takes time. It takes time to get followers. It takes time to get people to share things with other people. It takes time for things to go viral. We don't want to worry about time. We want to get out of the gate and get results right away because that's the fastest path for us to make money. Same thing with any content-driven traffic methods like press releases and creating articles and exchanging content with other people. Any of that stuff typically takes time, and we don't want to have to worry about that. There's no faster way to generate traffic to a site than to buy it. And we can get traffic within 15 minutes. So if we're sticking with our core principle of speed, this is the fastest way to get results. If it's the fastest way to get results, it's the fastest way to make money in this business. Now, it's no surprise, or it should come as no surprise, that the most successful companies on the entire internet in any niche market doing anything are mostly buying their traffic. There are some that make a good bit of their income and their traffic source is SEO, but those are usually companies that have been around a long time and got the kind of authority site rankings and preferential treatment from Google for being very old sites with a lot of old established links. Those players are very hard to topple or very hard to outrank now. It can be done with work, but let's not do any work. Let's just find the profitable sources for traffic and just buy it and then get results from it. And when I'm talking about buying traffic, I'm not talking about even spending thousands of dollars. We can do it for a few $100. We could run some small ads, we can get some results, and then we can start building the business from there. So I've seen people test and validate markets for $25 before, where they can buy a little bit of cheap pay-per-click traffic, start getting some results, tweak their numbers, and then start plowing the money back in and scaling it and snowballing it. So what we need to understand here is that the 80-20 rule is key. If you don't know what the 80-20 rule is, look it up. There's probably a Wikipedia entry for it. It's also known as the Pareto principle. Basically what it is typically 20% of your efforts in something will create 80% of the results. And it's no exception when it comes to traffic. If you advertised all over the place on thousands of websites, you'll find that 20% of those websites are driving 80% of your traffic. That's basically just how it comes down to, basically what it comes down to and how it works. So I just stated it. So we got to focus on the 80-20 rule. We'll know that 80% of the traffic we'll generate in our new businesses are going to come from 20% of our competitor sources. So I'm prefacing all this before we start looking at these ad tools and start seeing where our competitors are generating their traffic, where their money is coming from. And when we're going to see all their different sources, hundreds if not thousands of them, we just need to keep in mind our focus is going to be on that top 20% that produces 80% of their traffic. And we can ignore the rest, at least in the early going. So I just said that. So we need to focus on the 20% of sources that generate most of the traffic to our competitors. The top group of keywords, the top traffic generating sites they advertise on, the top ad networks they use and run ads with. Last but not least, we must focus on the highest targeting and the volume that we can get with that highest targeting. So highest targeting and volume. Let me explain this. It's very, very important. The math, and I've been talking a lot about this, competitive intelligence, this entire process and system is based on science and math. It's not just, artwork. It's not just guesswork. It's math, and math doesn't lie, especially in business. The math proves that it's worth paying a premium for highest targeting and volume. Let me give you an example. If you take the number one keyword for any given market, like if we talk about the dog training market, and let's say the number one keyword is how to housebreak my dog or how to keep my dog from peeing in the house. Maybe that's the one keyword that when someone's selling like an ebook or a video course on how to train your dog, that one produces the highest percentage of sales, the highest margin returns. So that type of keyword is worth paying a premium for to be in top 3 placement, let's say Google AdWords, because it gets us the most volume. And it also becomes the fastest way to validate a market. What you'll learn when we get there, this isn't until phase 4, this isn't until quite a ways up ahead, but just to give you a quick preview of that, when we really get into validating an opportunity, there's no better way to validate if something is going to work than by finding the most targeted traffic source and just getting a little bit of traffic from there and seeing the results. Because if we can't get that to convert profitably, then we're not going to get all the other stuff to convert, which isn't as targeted. So do you understand that? We go after the most targeted area for traffic to validate a business, because if we can't get that to turn a profit, then the rest of the stuff doesn't matter. So you'll see when we get there. Here's the math example. Let's say we take a keyword, whatever that number one keyword is that produces the best results for a market. And let's say that keyword consistently creates a 5% sales conversion, okay? So out of every 100 visitors to that sales page, 5 people will click and buy that product. So let's also say that to get the number one position on Google, let's say, it costs $2 per click to get in the number one position, because people are bidding to see who will get in what position, and whoever pays the most will get the higher position. So let's say to get the very top in this example, it's going to be $2 a click. And let's say that number one position, because it gets the most traffic and clicks, produces 100 clicks a day. Well, at 5% conversion, that would be 5 orders. Let's say the number 4 position, this is a very realistic comparison. The number 4 position for the ranking for that keyword in Google AdWords only costs $1 per click, half of what it costs to be number one, but it produces less clicks because it's number 4. So let's say it produces 20 clicks a day. So we're getting 20 clicks a day at half the price of what we get at number 1. But it's not the bargain that it seems to be, and I'm going to explain why the math proves that's the case. At 20 clicks a day at the same 5% conversion, we're going to get 1 order per day. Let's say with our project here, we're selling a product that costs $100. At 5 orders, in the first example of being number 1, we produce $500 in sales. Let's just say we're selling a digital product and it's pretty much all profit. So we generate $500 in sales, that's pretty much all profit, but we paid $2 a click for 100 clicks. You can do the math, that's $200 in ad cost. $500 minus the $200 makes us $300 per day in this example. So we made $300 a day. In the example of number 4, instead, if we want our ad to rank there and we pay half price for the traffic, we're only getting 20 clicks a day that we pay $1 for. So our ad cost is only $20 a day, but we only get 1 order because of the lower volume. So we get $100 minus the $20 ad cost. We make a profit of $80 a day. So let me ask you, what's better? A profit of $300 every day or a profit of $80 a day? Well, the math doesn't lie. We make more money by paying more for the traffic. This is a concept that most internet marketers don't get. They think, oh, I'm just going to bid as low as I can and still get some pretty good traffic, and then I'm just going to, do that to thousands and thousands of keywords. But what they don't get is the premium that you pay for a highly targeted, highly converting keyword. You want the volume because that nets you more profit than paying a cheaper price for the traffic. So really make sure you get that. Hopefully you do. It's not that complicated math, but if for some reason you don't, watch this video a few times until it sets in, because this is really the key to making a lot of money online, is understanding that kind of math and how the yield for something that gets more volume, even at a higher price, is worth it because we're focused on the net profit.